You've probably heard me talking about this self-sufficient living skills bundle that's been going on. And I have been spending the last week flipping through so many of the incredible resources within this bundle. Now, I will say there's a lot. There's over 118 different ebooks and courses and lessons sharing incredible wisdom and knowledge with you so you can live off the land and you don't have to rely on this corrupt and broken system for everything for your family. Anyways, I wanted to share some of my favorite things. One, first off, is off-grid homeopathy. This course is loaded with so much incredible knowledge, talking about homeopathy for first aid, for colds and flu, how to make your own homeopathic remedies. Like, as an herbalist who loves to teach that stuff, that's pretty exciting to hear it in the homeopathy realm. There's also some incredible fermentation guides, so many other amazing herbal recipes and food recipes, and how to make your own sourdough bread, how to do your own organic gardening and canning of all of your foods. Really, there is so much. And yes, I know. I've talked about it a ton, but this entire bundle is only $50 right now until Sunday, March 24th. I'm sharing my herbal first aid skills, which is a course that's $47 on its own. I'm sharing recipes that I used when I got my products into REI for herbal first aid kits and so much more. You'll have to check it out. I'm serious. Like, you can absolutely change your life with this bundle. So there is a link in the show notes for you, and I hope you check it out. I hope you take advantage. Don't worry, you don't have to go through everything right away. You can access everything for up to a year. Once you're in the course or have the download, it's yours for life. It is a steal of a deal. Okay, self-sufficient living skills bundle in the links for you. Summertime is the best, except for when there's no way for you to escape that sweltering summer heat. But there's some really cool news. Get it? Cool news. Anyways, aside from my cheese, the cool news is that there are several ways to use herbs to help you stay chill. Whether it's a nice sweet treat for yourself or for your kiddos, or something that can help you feel refreshed and cool from the inside out. Plants are here to help us. So in this episode, I'm going to share with you my top tips for keeping cool in the sweltering summer heat, plus a few really inspiring ideas for you to create your own cooling herbal blends. Hello and welcome to the Herbalist Path, a podcast where you'll discover how to make your own herbal remedies at home so that you can take better care of yourself, better care of your family, and better care of our planet. I'm Mel. I'm a clinical herbalist, environmental educator, and mountain living mama with this crazy passion for teaching more mamas and their little loves how to use plants as medicine in a safe, effective, and tasty way so that there can be an herbalist in every home. Again, it's an absolute honor to have you on the journey down the herbalist path with me so that together we can make herbalism #spread like wildflowers. I love summertime. I love going to the river and spending an entire day floating down with my family and my friends. It could very well be one of my absolute favorite things to do. And obviously, it is the best way to cool off. Right now, in my little forested mountain town on Mount Hood in Oregon, we're having a week where every single day has been 95 plus degree days. That is really hot for us rainforest folk. So we spend as much of our days at the river as we can. And still, even with refreshing mountain water, we need so many other ways to stay cool. And sometimes we need things to help deal with the aftermath of an entire day spent in the summer sun. So yes, I'm going to be sharing some of my best sunburn soothing tips with you in this episode today. And I also realize not everyone has the luxury of just going to the river to chill out. So I really want to bring up up some of the best herbs that you can turn to help you stay cool in all this heat. So one way is to think of how your body works naturally to stay cool. One of those ways is by sweating. Yes, perspiration is one of your body's defense mechanisms to beat the heat through your skin. So you can reach for diaphoretic herbs, which is fancy herb geek speak for herbs that help your body to sweat. And there's a couple that I tend to love more than others for beating the heat that's coming from outside of our bodies. And one of them is an herb I talk about a lot. It is lemon balm or Melissa officinalis. I love lemon balm. It's super tasty, it's refreshing all on its own, and it happens to be an excellent herb to both lift the spirits and calm the nerves at the same time. In fact, it's commonly thought of or known as nature's sunshine for its happiness promoting effects, and it is an absolute rock star herb for kiddos, especially those dealing with ADHD. Can you imagine a way that you can keep your kiddos calm and cool all in one? Heck yes, especially when school's out for the summer and the kids are around constantly, right? So there's also a few cousins of lemon balm that I love to add to a cooling mix, like catnip. Yes, I said catnip. The same plant your cats may freak out over. It happens to be a great diaphoretic herb and a cooling herb because it's promoting that flow of sweat from the body. And it also happens to be a very calming herb for your kids. It does the exact opposite for our nervous system than it does for the kiddies. So your kiddos will not be bouncing off the walls with eyes and pupils dilated as all get out, going crazy. They'll be a little more chill and at peace, which is pretty nice. And then another herb that's in the same family as both lemon balm and catnip that is amazing. And you may have already thought of it because it's a very common one for refreshing flavors, and it's cooling and outrageously delicious, and it's peppermint. And yes, peppermint is also a diaphoretic herb, so it helps your body to release the heat by sweating. And as I said before, it's a member of the mint family, so it has a lot of similar properties that lemon balm and catnip do, but I wouldn't exactly call it a calming herb like the other two are. Since we're on the mint family groove right now, one more delicious mint family friend that I love to have in the summertime is basil. I love basil any time of year. It's so good. And it's cooling as well. So there's a really, really easy cooling salad that I want you to try if you can. Hopefully you can get most of this from your garden or from a local farmer or wherever you can. I can't grow melons in my yard, but I can grow the mint. So anyways, the salad I want you to try is just some cut up fresh watermelon, use some fresh basil and fresh peppermint, and squeeze some lime juice on it. And that's it. If you want to add some feta or some goat cheese, you can get extra fancy, but it's just a really delicious, simple, fast, refreshing, excellent salad to bring along to a picnic and to just help your kiddos stay cool. It's like an easy snack to grab too. It's really, really beautiful. So that's a lot on the mint family plants that can really help you stay cool. And I wanted to talk about another really popular herb that's loved for its cooling and refreshing ways. It's one of its claims to fame in the plant world, and that is hibiscus. And there is a reason this beautiful plant grows so well in tropical places, in locations where it's hot. And that's because that plant wants to be used where it's needed most. It's like that natural intelligence that comes from plants. It's beautiful. And hibiscus is sweet because it's loaded with antioxidants, so it's going to be fighting off free radicals. It's also got some calcium. It can be a nice supplement of iron for people. And it's also really rich in vitamin C, which you can taste in its tart flavoring. So sometimes, honestly, hibiscus is a bit too tart for my taste buds to handle. But when it's paired with some of our mint family friends that I just talked about, it can become an incredibly refreshing and delightful summer drink. So I like to make a nice sun tea with hibiscus. I'll throw in some lemon balm, maybe some lemongrass, which also happens to be cooling and refreshing. I'll throw in some peppermint and some holy basil if I've got it, and then set it out in the sun and let the sun do its amazing, beautiful, powerful energy right into your tea. And then once it's done, just pop it in the fridge. Pour it over a nice cup of ice when you're ready for an amazingly refreshing summer cup of yum and delicious. So hibiscus is in the Malvaceae family or the mallow family, and it has some cooling demulcent properties to it, just like one of my other favorite plant friends and hibiscus's cousin, marshmallow, or Althea officinalis, which is another herb that can be really helpful when dealing with excess heat. Actually, you could even add some of the marshmallow to the tea blend I just talked about. It's going to help cool you. It'll help soothe your dry throat, particularly if it's like really hot and dry, or if there's a lot of smoke in the air from wildfires. It can be a really excellent bonus to add into that summer tea. But one of the primary reasons I wanted to bring up marshmallow for beating the heat is as a sunburn skincare agent. So the roots of marshmallow, or Althea officinalis, we're not talking Jet Puff or the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man here. We're talking a beautiful plant. Anyways, the roots are extremely mucilaginous, and you can extract this delightfully slimy mucilage by making a cold infusion of the roots in some water. You just put the roots and some water into a jar and put it in the fridge overnight. You do not need a lot because it will spoil quickly. But the next morning, you're going to wake up to that jar being filled with this slimy concoction that is very similar to somebody's runny nose. It's going to be clear. And before you get all grossed out by the thought of this slimy snot-like substance, I want you to know that this slime is your friend. This is an incredibly cooling agent, and it's the mucilage of this plant. So when you take that slime and you rub it onto sunburned skin, you're going to get an instant sensation of cooling relief. And you'll know that marshmallow is working its magic for your skin. And it is some serious magic for the skin. You could do this on like really dry, flaky skin as well. It's just a very strong emollient. And since we're talking about skin and magic for it, another plant I really love in that circumstance is comfrey. It's really rich in this constituent called allantoin, which is known to help regenerate damaged skin cells. Super helpful for a sunburn, right? So I want you to think about allantoin and this cool word for this constituent that helps to regenerate skin cells. But if you think about the slimy feeling you get when you slice open a leaf of aloe, and that gelatinous slimy stuff is the allantoin. And that's exactly what you feel inside of comfrey when you break off the stem to the leaf. It's really full of that slimy, mucilaginous kind of stuff. And that is where a lot of the skin soothing magic comes from. So I love comfrey, whether I'm using it fresh or as an oil for sunburns. It can be so incredibly helpful. So I also love to use two of my other best skincare friendulas, like calendula and plantain. Two herbs I talk about so much because they are beautiful, they are abundant, and they are powerful medicine. And they are phenomenal wound healers that can be super duper helpful in the case of a sunburn. So one of my absolute must-have sunburn remedies is my afterburn sunburn skincare that I made at Mountain Mel's. So I would just infuse some calendula, comfrey, and plantain with sunflower, almond, and jojoba oil. All very nice oils that are light and not so heavy like an olive oil, but they're going to absorb into the skin really, really nicely. So once those are infused, I put them together with some aloe gel. And I'm not talking the crap you get at CVS or Walgreens. I'm talking like really good quality aloe gel. Even if you want to take it straight from the plant, you could. And then I do about equal parts of the aloe gel and the witch hazel extract, and organic witch hazel extract. I toss in a few drops of vitamin E and a few drops of an organic peppermint essential oil and just a little bit of the calendula comfrey plantain combo in the oil. And this is hands down like the most amazing sunburn skincare on the planet. Like, it's gold. Some of the reviews I got from people on it are just unbelievable. And it's so nice. Like, it will stop you from peeling, and it'll take you from like, oh my gosh, you're so red, you never knew you could turn that red, to like almost tan within a day. It's so cool. I love that one. And if you want to make some of your own of that sunburn skincare, just as a side note, I happen to have an abundance of the infused oils and other ingredients right now. So if you want some, I can get you some. Just reach out to me either by email, mel@theherbalistpath, or shoot me a DM, whatever way you can get in touch with me. And I can find out a way to get you some of this amazing plant medicine magic. You will not regret it. Plus, you can play with it in so many other ways too. It's powerful medicine. And okay, I'm getting talky on this here talking platform, a podcast. But before I get too crazy talky, I wanted to talk about another really amazing summer treat to beat the heat. And this one is absolutely irresistible. I'm a complete sucker for it, but making herbal popsicles. So let's go back to the tea blend I told you about, the one with the hibiscus, the lemon balm, the mint, the holy basil. Well, you can take that same tea blend, throw some strawberries and some nice fresh greens into a blender with it, blend it all up, and pour it into popsicle molds. And there you have it. The most incredibly delicious, irresistible herbal summer treat. Just as an extra bonus, it happens to keep your kiddos calm too, and they are gonna beg you for more of this sweet treat. Like, seriously, it's gonna be amazing. You'd be like, wait a second, I'm getting medicine into this kiddo and he loves it or she loves it. It's such a cool feeling. Like, my daughter's friends will go bonkers over my popsicles for them. And I'm like, ooh, I am totally herbing you. I used to actually, for my daughter's birthday parties, instead of cakes and all the sugary laden things, I would make popsicles like this. Every time the parents would always be like, wow, my kid's so calm after your party. And I'm like, yes, I have herbed your kids. Of course, these are safe herbs for kids, so I know that that is a very good thing. Anyways, I really encourage you to go ahead and play around with some of these suggestions I gave in this episode. If you want some more specific recipes, I do have a free download for you of some of my absolute favorite summer recipes, including my herbal bug spray, some more of the popsicle recipes, and a few of my other absolute must-have summertime faves. I'm going to go ahead and link to that in the show notes for you. It'll be theherbalistpath.com/summer coolers. And if you are ready to dive into this wonderful world of herbs a bit more, I do have a live class coming up for you where you will discover the 5 most essential herbs to stock in your natural medicine kit. So honestly, this is not something that's easy for me to say, but each of these herbs serves many different purposes in your life. And so that's why I chose those 5 herbs. So hard to narrow it down, but they are guaranteed to make an incredible foundation as you continue to build out your herbal remedies you're using within your home. It's a super fun class. I think some of it will blow your mind. You'll be like, holy cow, I didn't know that I could use that herb in that many ways. Absolutely amazing. And it's just a great way to get started without breaking the bank, because it can get expensive to just go all out at the herb shop or at the natural health food store. You know what I mean. If you're anything like me, you have gone to the natural food store and you've seen the beautiful displays of these amazing products that are going to do all the perfect things naturally. And you walk out and you just spent like $120 on like 5 tiny little bottles of who knows what. Anyways, you don't have to do that. And that's what we cover inside that class. So I'll go ahead and link to that in the show notes as well. And as always, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. If you're hearing this right now, thank you for listening to me babble about herbs for this long. I truly, truly appreciate you. And if you found this episode to be helpful and you want to share it with your friends or you want to leave me a 5-star review, I would be oh so grateful because that's how we're going to help make this herbalism stuff spread like wildflowers, my friends. So yes, thank you. Have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of The Herbalist Path. Being on this journey with you is absolutely incredible. If you dig this episode, please leave me a review on your favorite podcast player and share it with your friends so that together we can make herbalism #spread like wildflowers. On another note, I must mention that while I know you're getting some good info here, it's important to remember that this podcast is purely for entertainment and educational purposes and is not intended to be a substitute for medical treatment. While the information in this podcast is absolutely relevant, herbs work differently for each person and each condition. That's why I recommend you work with a qualified practitioner, whether that be another herbalist, a naturopath, or your doctor. So thank you again. I am truly honored that you're tuning into these episodes and on the path with me to make sure that there's an herbalist in every home again. Don't forget to share this episode with your friends so that we can make herbalism #spread like wildflowers. It has been so much fun and so, joyous watching all of my medicinal plant friends popping up in my garden, from the elecampane to the comfrey and the arnica. I love seeing these friends pop up. And if you are still trying to decide what to grow in your medicinal herb garden, you've got to grab my guide. It's all about the most essential herbs that every mom should know and should grow. So I teach you how to grow them and the many different ways that you can use them. If you want to grab the guide, go ahead. It's free, and I'm pretty sure you're going to get a lot of delight and use out of it. And there's a link to it in the show notes. I'm wishing you tons of happy medicine planting.